What if fully booked isn't freedom? It's just a quieter form of burnout. Because when 5 clients still maxes you out, when you're turning families away, when you're finally successful, but something still doesn't feel right, something has to change. So I'm Emma, and if you're a gentle sleep consultant who goes deep with families, but you're hitting a wall that you can't seem to break through, this video is for you. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand why your current model, no matter how good your results are, has a built-in ceiling that's capping both your income and your capacity to help more families. And more importantly, I'm going to show you a completely different way to work that lets you serve deeply, sustainably, and without sacrificing the quality of care that you're known for. And this is for practitioners who want to create more impact and freedom, not one or the other. And I've worked with sleep consultants like Maria, brilliant, deeply responsive practitioners who were maxed out at 5 to 6 clients a month. And in Maria's case, she had a long wait list. Families wanted to work with her, and from the outside, it looked like success. But Maria was physically unwell from the stress, and she was caught between raising a young child and running a business that felt like it was just running her. And actually, she told me, I was feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, and helpless. I didn't know what to do next. I couldn't continue what I was doing, and my stress level was affecting everyone, including my family. And she was proud of her work. She loved helping families, but the model was unsustainable. And after we worked together, Maria said, I'm taking my business to a new level. It's more sustainable, I'm more in control, and I can see that this is now life-changing. And she's now supporting 18 plus families at once while working less. And that's what becomes possible when you shift the container. Now, before we dive in, I've created a free on-demand masterclass for you. It's called 3 Simple Steps to Build a Thriving Sleep Consultancy that gives you freedom, consistent clients, and a steady income. And through it, I walk you through the exact framework that I use to help sleep consultants like you support more families, reclaim your time, and build a business that truly sustains you. So all you need to do is click the link in the description to watch it for free. But now let's get into why this matters so much. Now, important thing to say is that you're not chasing 30 clients a month. You're not trying to be fully booked in that hustle culture sense. And you're someone who takes your work seriously. Like, you give thoughtful, personalized support. You're responsive to your clients' needs. And that depth, that level of care, is what creates real lasting transformation. But here's the reality. Right now, you might be working with 4, 5, or maybe 6 families a month, and that's it. And even that feels like a lot, because this work takes something from you. It takes emotional energy, mental bandwidth, the capacity to show up fully, not just for your clients, but for your own life as well. And if you're at that point, well, you're probably maxed out. And here's the painful part. Even though you're working this hard, you're probably still not where you want to be financially. Income might be inconsistent. You might have families wanting to work with you, but you physically cannot take on more families without completely depleting yourself. And if that's you, well, you're probably stuck. You want to help more families, you want financial stability, and you want to be able to step away from your work without guilt or worry, but you can't see how to do any of that without sacrificing the depth and quality that makes you different. And maybe you've thought about raising your prices, but that might price out the families who genuinely need you. Maybe you've thought about working less, but then income becomes even tighter. Or maybe you've looked at creating an online course or a membership, but those models often feel impersonal, and you can see they wouldn't provide the same results to your clients. And if you're thinking these things, then the good news is that this is a normal part of growth, where it's likely that your current one-to-one model has a built-in ceiling, and you've hit it. And here's what I know about the gentle sleep consultants that I work with. You didn't get into this work to become a content machine. You got into this work because you genuinely care about helping families. You want to create real transformation. You want families to feel confident, supported, less alone, and you want to go deep. You want to understand each family's unique situation. You want to give them what they actually need, not just surface level advice. And that matters. That depth is your superpower. And here's the tension. Depth and sustainability feels like there are odds. And when you work deeply with families one-to-one, it's powerful, but it's also exhausting. It's time intensive. It requires a lot from you. And the more families you help this way, the more depleted you become. So you're left with what feels like an impossible choice. Do I sacrifice the depth of my work to scale, or do I stay small and stretched forever? And Cher felt like this. She told me, I was working like a fool and I was falling out of love with sleep coaching. And this is the moment where most sleep consultants either burn out or leave the industry. They slowly lose the joy that brought them into sleep consulting in the first place. But here's what I want you to know. There's a third way, a way to serve deeply without burning out, a way to support more families without diluting your care, a way to create financial stability without sacrificing your life. And before I dive into that, here's the question I want you to sit with. What if you could still offer deep transformational support, but not at the cost of your energy, your time, or your well-being? What if there was a way or a model that actually honors your depth of work while giving you back your life? Because here's what I discovered after nearly walking out of my business. The problem isn't that you're doing something wrong. The problem is the container. One-on-one work is a beautiful model for certain things, but it's not designed to be sustainable long-term. It relies entirely on you. Every client needs your individual attention, and you're the only source of support. You're the bottleneck. And no matter how good you are at time management or setting boundaries, there's only so much of you to go around. But what if there was a different container? One that still allowed for deep support, real connection, and personalized guidance, but didn't rely on you being the only resource. One that actually enhanced the client experience because families weren't figuring things out alone. They were learning alongside other parents on the same journey. That's what one of my clients, Rebecca, discovered. After making this shift, she took 3 weeks off in August and she went traveling with her family around Europe. No scrambling, no guilt. And when she came back, she'd earned more in 1 month than she used to an entire quarter. And she told me, I've put boundaries in place I never thought I would. I've been brave. I take more breaks and holidays, and I'm working with the clients that I want to work with. And so this isn't about doing less. It's about working in a way that preserves what matters most, the transformation that you create for families and the life that you want for yourself. So let me show you what I call the sustainable success system. It's built on 3 core elements, the 3 C's. So curriculum, coaching, and community. And it's designed specifically for practitioners who refuse to sacrifice depth. So this isn't about scaling in the traditional sense. It's about creating a container that allows you to do your best work while serving more families sustainably. But before we dive into the 3 C's, there's something you need to hear. You can't serve everyone. You're not meant to. So when you try and help everyone with a sleep problem, your message becomes muddy. Your offer loses potency and your energy becomes drained because you're trying to meet everyone's individual needs. But when you build your program around a clear transformation for a specific kind of client, that's when everything clicks. Your curriculum gets clearer, your coaching becomes more focused, and your community gets stronger. So if you try and make your offer broad enough to fit everyone, it might be time to do the opposite. Get specific, get focused, and build something that deeply serves the people you're best equipped to help. So let's look at the 3 C's in more detail. So the first thing you want to do is take the expertise that you've developed, the process you've refined through working with this specific group of clients, and turn it into a structured step-by-step curriculum. But here's what not to do. This is not a data dump. It's not videos that people never watch. It's not surface level information anyone could Google. Your curriculum is a transformation roadmap. It takes families from where they are right now, exhausted, overwhelmed, stuck, to where they want to be, sleeping peacefully, feeling confident, and understanding their child. So think of it like climbing a mountain. 0 is base camp where they're struggling, and hero is the summit where they've reached their goal. And your curriculum is the proven path up that mountain. And here's the beautiful part. When you structure your expertise in this way, families have a clear roadmap. They know what step comes next. They can move through the foundational pieces at their own pace. This doesn't dilute your expertise. It actually amplifies it because now you're not repeating the same foundational information over and over again. Like you've created a resource that serves families even between your touch points with them. And Maria launched what I call a beta program, a live test version of her curriculum. And she worked with 18 families, refined her process in real time, and generated £7,890. And those families got incredible results. And that wasn't despite of the group format, it was because of it. Now, second, you want to create group coaching calls where you show up live to answer questions, where you provide guidance and support families through challenges. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be saying, Emma, every family situation is unique. How can I possibly give the same level of care in a group setting? But here's the truth. Group coaching actually enhances the depth of your work. Why? Because you're not depleted. You're not mentally juggling multiple different approaches at once. You show up energized, fully present, and at your best. Because families benefit from hearing other parents' questions. And remember, all of these parents are aligned. They're all going through the same journey. And often the questions they didn't even know get asked by other people, and you're there to answer them. So they're not alone there. They're learning faster because you can address patterns and themes that emerge across multiple families, which actually creates deeper understanding than working in complete isolation. And Anna, one of my clients, said working the group format was just incredible. Everyone's on the same journey, and that support for parents is so powerful because they're all struggling with the same thing. This isn't about sacrificing depth. It's about being strategic with your energy so you can really show up deeply when it matters most. Okay, so number 3, you want to create a community where families support each other in between coaching calls. And this is the piece that actually makes the whole model sustainable for you and your clients, because here's what happens. Families realize they're not the only ones struggling. They encourage each other. They share wins. They work through challenges together. And this creates what I call mini mentors, like parents who've been through the process. Those parents, well, they start helping newer parents. They share what's worked for them. They offer perspective. And this doesn't replace your expertise. It extends it. You're still the guide, you're still the expert, but now you're not the only source of support and accountability. And Rebecca, one of my clients, said, I completely sold out my program. People love my business. I love it. And here's what's incredible. When you combine these 3 elements, structured curriculum, strategic coaching, and community support, you create a container that's actually more supportive than one-to-one work, because families aren't learning in isolation. They have a clear path forward. They have you showing up at your best, and they have a community alongside them. So let me share what this looks like in practice. So one of my clients earned more in 3 months than she did in the entire year before implementing the system. And Carla reduced her working hours from 6 days a week to 3.5 while increasing her impact and her income. Cher now has her evenings back. She's taking real holidays. She's present with her family. And Maria went from physically unwell and feeling hopeless to saying that this is more sustainable. I feel more in control, and this is life-changing. And this is what's possible when you shift the container. And so here's what I want you to know. You don't have to choose between depth and sustainability. You don't have to sacrifice the quality of your work to have a life. You don't have to stay small and stretched forever. There is a way to serve deeply and sustainably. And if you are interested to learn how this process can work in your business, I want to invite you to watch my free on-demand masterclass. It's 3 simple steps to build a thriving sleep consultancy that gives you your freedom, consistent clients, and a steady income. And in it, I'm going to walk you through how to identify your unique 0 to hero transformation, how to structure your first program without burning out, and how to implement the 3 C's in a way that preserves the depth of your work. The exact steps my clients have used to go from maxed out to sustainability, serving more families. And so if you want to access that, all you need to do is click the link in the comments below and also in the description. And if you've enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments, what's your biggest thing that's keeping you stuck right now? Is it capacity? Is it income? Or is it something else? I read every comment and I would love to hear your story. And until then, I'm Emma and I'm cheering you on, and I'll speak to you soon.